Friends, let me discuss with you for a while on the current major problems in India. See, India is the biggest democracy in the world and we are now the world's fifth largest economy. But we have so many serious day-to-day issues, day-to-day problems which pose hurdles in the progress of the nation. So these social, political and economic issues are to be addressed in order to improve the prevailing conditions of our society. The major problems that we should see today, they are corruption, crime, illiteracy, defective education system, the basic sanitation problem, healthcare system problem, poverty, pollution, women's safety, insufficient infrastructure, unemployment, agricultural distress, the problems encountered by the exporters, then the hoarding, block marketing, smuggling, the extortion, human trafficking, money laundering, robbery, arms trafficking, drug trafficking, illegal gambling, illegal mining, bribery, murders, contract killing, kidnapping, forgery, assault, etc., etc. So a common man is not all happy because of these. In our democratic system, government has to make voting compulsory and we have to set some minimum educational standards to both the voters and the contestants. Our election system makes way for corrupt practices and the criminal acts. It is very difficult for a simple and honest man to compete in this game. The complexity of the law and the heavy taxation system is not encouraging the small entrepreneurs to grow and this is to be reviewed. Government is good in lawmaking, but its implementation by the executives is not that good. Judiciary is very slow and they have their own reasons for this. The most widely spread endemic in India is corruption, which must be handled quickly and wisely. There is hardly any office, either in the private or public sector, that is free from this corruption. The Indian economy has suffered a heavy loss because of this. And illiteracy, coming to illiteracy, the percentage of illiteracy in India is alarming. Though a high percentage of around 75% are counted as literate, there is a wide disparity between the rural and urban areas, between the male and female population. The condition in villages is worse than in cities. And though a number of primary schools have been set up in rural India, the problem persists. Many people who are counted as literate can hardly read or write. So hence providing education just to children won't solve the problem of illiteracy, as many adults are found illiterate in India. And coming to education system, the education system of India is not practical and skill-based. Students study to score marks, not to gain the knowledge. So this so-called modern education system, it was introduced by the colonial masters to create servants who could serve but not lead. And we still have the same education system. Of course, the government is trying to implement new education system, but still there is not much improvement. And sanitation is another problem in India. There are millions of people who have no access to the toilets at home. Slum areas do not have toilets, which causes numerous diseases like diarrhea, cholera, dehydration, etc. Many rural schools also have no toilets, because of which the parents do not send their kids, especially girls, to school. and nothing much is done in this regard. So a growing population is the biggest challenge causing these problems. For example, the sewage system in the metropolitan cities, they are designed to meet the needs of a smaller population than what it has now. So sanitation, solid waste management and drainage, they continue to pose challenges in India. It is true that the world's most populous democratic country cannot provide proper healthcare facilities to its entire population. Healthcare is a neglected issue in India, as major attention drawers are the agriculture, infrastructure and IT. And majority of the villagers, they have no access to the healthcare providers. Infant mortality rate is alarming. Despite our country being the fourth largest medical devices market, the healthcare system for the Indian citizens is also disappointing. The population of India living below the poverty line has definitely come down, but still 80% of the poor in India, they live in villages. And the states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa and Chhattisgarh, they have the poorest areas. And a much large percentage of the poor, they belong to the SC/ST categories. This is as per World Bank statistics. So this disparity needs immediate attention of the government. And the pandemic has made all our predictions go wrong. See, India is the fastest growing economy in the world today, but extreme poverty, that is, nothing less than rupees 200 per day or so, it remains a roadblock in India's path of becoming an economic superpower. Although the government has been working seriously on this. The concept of extreme poverty is not only about the lack of money or material resources, but there are also no sufficient opportunities among individuals to make the choices for their sustainable living. See, what has led to extreme poverty are: one, the lack of education, overpopulation, unemployment, corruption, absence of basic amenities, the harsh climate, discrimination and social inequality, the lack of skilled labor, etc., etc. And the consequences of this extreme poverty are the obstruction in the economic growth and development of the country, high infant mortality rate, parents cannot afford education to their children, and the children are suffering from the mental and physical disabilities. There is domestic violence, stress among the family members, again malnutrition, increase in the hygiene and diet related diseases, increased rate of the homeless people, terrorism, genocide, etc., etc. See, coming to pollution again. Pollution and environmental issues are the other challenges that India is facing at present. Though India is working hard, the Indian government is working hard, there is a long way to go. The degradation of land, the depleting natural resources, the loss of biodiversity are the main issues of concern due to pollution. And the untreated sewerage is the major cause of water pollution. The Ganga and the Yamuna rivers, they are today two of the most polluted rivers in India. And same is the condition of other rivers that pass through the populated cities. And additionally, the increasing construction, vehicular traffic, they also contribute to the pollution in the cities. And according to the World Air Quality Report published somewhere in 2021-22, the Indian cities, Ghaziabad and New Delhi, they featured in the top most polluted cities in the world. See, the women's safety also requires attention. Both men and women, they enjoy equal opportunities. But as far as the freedom and safety of women are concerned, India lags behind. So the issues like the domestic violence, rape, the portrayal of women in the media, so these things must be tackled immediately. And India needs to work swiftly on its infrastructure development also towards better roads, affordable housing and services like water, sanitation, primary healthcare, etc. And according to the union budget, the government of India has allocated large sums of money to boost the infrastructure. That is really good. Unemployment nowadays is very common among the youth, and this is the situation where even a qualified person is willingly searching for a job but is not able to find it. So the government of India must take the necessary steps to eradicate it by creating more government and public sector job opportunities, and also it needs to be supported by the private sector industry to provide jobs to those who really deserve it. And as per the data of Center for Monitoring the Indian Economy, the rate of unemployment, it has touched somewhere around 8 to 9% in 2022. So this rate of unemployment is very high for a country like India. So if it is not tackled immediately, it will become a challenge for our society and economy. And India is a country which is widely famous in the world for its agriculture. But here the farmers face too many problems, such as the lack of basic amenities of irrigation systems, quality manure, quality seeds, agricultural implements, and the short or long-term loans. So the exploitation of the farmers at the hands of money lenders and politicians, they are the prominent and common issues that immediately needs to be looked into. And stories of farmers committing suicide, they appear in the media almost every day. And as per Indian Economic Survey, the percentage of agricultural workers in the total workforce is likely to drop soon because of these problems. The Indian exporters, they face a constant threat of heavy duties and tariffs both within and outside. So there has to be an ecosystem to enable the private investments, increase the consumption, the competitiveness of exports, and swift infrastructural and investments. So these steps can make India a global superpower that it rightly deserves. And hoarding, it has become a serious issue now in India. Hoarding is the purchase and warehousing, that means a stocking of large quantities of commodities like the food grains, vegetables, oils, manure, steel, cement, critical medicine, medical equipment, industrial products, the gold, silver, and even holding dollars during a currency crisis, etc., etc. So these items which have demand in the market, the speculators, they hold it with the intent of benefiting from the future price increases. So this holding, it results in inflation. It prevents the commodities from being used in the rest of the economy. And the governments are definitely good in enacting the laws to overcome all these wrong practices. But mere enactment of the law is not enough to control all this. So execution is more important, and it is there where we have failed. So holding strategies, they increase the relative scarcity of digital currencies like the Bitcoin, and it can drive up the prices also. Then coming to the block marketing is another major issue. the infringement of requisite laws of the government by the sellers with an intention to earn more profit, it has ultimately led to illicit acts and block marketing. So this business, it was and it is still relevant in every sphere of the market. One of the major areas is pharmaceuticals. See, the emergence of the pandemic, it has driven the world's economy upside down, and especially that of a developing country like India. So these have led too many block marketers and holders who have played with the weakness of our legal structure to earn the profits. The essentials such as life-saving drugs, vaccines, oxygen cylinders, the reservation of beds, they were all priced extraordinarily high with unbearable prices with no sense of humanity. The role of the government and its executives to implement the system effectively to curb the malpractices is the need of the hour. Today our economy is largely under the control of the block marketers, the criminals, holders, the commission agents. So the role of the government therefore is very, very critical, very, very important at this stage. Today our economy is largely under the control of block marketeers, criminals, holders, commission agents and the mediators. So this problem, this issue, it is to be immediately addressed with all attention and with all interest by the government. Thank you, friends.